Welcome to this episode of the Fund Manager interview series by DSP BlackRock Mutual Fund. Today I have with me Mr. Vinit Sambre, who manages our well-known microcap fund and also since the last year is managing our small and mid-cap fund. Today, however, we are going to talk about the small and mid-cap fund with Vinit. Hello and welcome, Vinit.
Thank you, Aditi, and I'm glad to be here.
So Vinit, today it seems that the valuations of the small, mid-cap and micro-cap have gone up quite a bit. And today I mean July 1st, 2016. Do you still think that it is a good time for investors to invest at this level of valuation, and what are your thoughts on these levels?
So as far as the small and mid-cap category is concerned, the valuations have definitely moved up in the last 2 years. We have seen some of these companies have given good performance. They have outperformed the large cap, and in sync with the outperformance, their valuations today are at premium to the large cap. Although it is at a premium to large cap, but what we feel, some of the companies in this category today are facing a low profitability scenario because of the low cycle in their business. But as we see the business cycle improving, we believe there is a reasonable chance that the profits may grow meaningfully from where they are because of the leverage impact, and hence the valuations may then look reasonable.
So right now, do you say invest or do you say wait?
It's a perspective about how much an investor is willing to give in terms of the time. We believe that investor having a long-term time horizon can still look to invest into the small and mid-cap as a category.
So SIP is still very good in small and mid-cap? The best way?
The best way to me is SIP. That's the best way of investing into the small and mid-cap funds.
Just as we have looked at it, it's been a great strategy for microcap. You would say it's same for small and mid-cap for a SIP strategy?
Yeah, I would believe SIP will work well even in case of a small and mid-cap fund, just like it worked in case of a microcap fund.
So now I want to go on to some sectors. So Vinit, your portfolio seems to be a mix of little bit of large cap and then mid, small and maybe micro cap as well. Can you give us just a breakup of that so people understand your construction?
So before that, let me explain how we define large cap, mid cap, small cap and micro cap. To us, the top 100 companies by way of market capitalization are really large caps. Beyond that, the next set of 100 companies, starting from 101st to 200 companies, is mid caps. 201st to 300th company is a small cap, and beyond 301st company is all micro cap for us. So that's the broader definition.
And just from a market valuation perspective and market cap perspective, what is your 100 cutoff?
100th is closer to 20,000 crore, 200th is closer to 8,000 crore, the 300th is closer to 4,000 crore, and that's the breakup in terms of the market capitalization.
4,000 crores and below is then micro cap. Right. So even you could have decently big names in micro cap. Sure. You're talking about. Right. So now can you give me a breakup between that in your fund?
So as far as DSP BlackRock small and mid cap fund is concerned, we have roughly about 18 to 20% into the large caps. The balance is all equally split largely between the mid cap, small cap and micro cap.
Now I just want to move on to sectors. Now sectors sometimes in a large cap can be different from micro cap and mid cap and small cap, or am I mistaken?
Subsectors can be different. We have a common sectoral definition across the large cap, small cap and mid cap, but within that there can be difference in the subsectors. So like in case of materials, we classify cement companies, we classify agrochemical companies, we classify specialty chemical companies in that bucket. A large cap portfolio may have more of cement company because of the market capitalization magnitude. Whereas in case of small and mid cap, we may have more of specialty chemical companies, we may have more of agrochemical companies. So that's the difference.
So you can really specialize in the companies that you invest in as you go down that curve.
Right.
Is that right?
That's perfectly right.
And which ones are you bullish on? Which sectors I'm talking about?
So as we stand today, we hold a positive view on a couple of sectors, one being industrials, within which we have exposure to companies in the building material space, logistics space, Beyond that, we are also positive on the consumer discretionary space. We believe that the consumer demand is going to go up as we see recovery taking place in the economy. Plus, we have the 7th pay commission money being doled out to the employees of the government, and that should help the cause. We are also very positive on the materials as a category, within which we have agri inputs companies, we have specialty chemical companies which we are positive on, and also the financials as a space where we are positive on some of the NBFCs which have really done well. They have been able to show decent growth in this slowing phase, and also have been able to maintain the quality of the balance sheet, which is really an incredible task. And we have been able to identify some of this ahead of time, and that has helped us a lot. We are also positive on the private sector banking space. So these are some of the sub-segments and the segments where we have currently we have a overweight positioning in the fund.
You mentioned consumer discretionary. Can you explain that more for my understanding and the understanding of the audience?
So within the consumer discretionary, the automobile category, the media category, the textile category, which is really driven by middle income growing, people becoming richer. These are the categories which really improves as we see income improving. So within the consumer discretionary, we focus on some of these sub-segments.
Okay, great. You also mentioned agri. You also, of course, have mentioned the 7th pay commission, and that you are expecting people to just have more money in their hands. Does it have anything to do with the rains that we're at least seeing some positive?
Definitely, last 2 years has been bad as far as monsoons are concerned, and we saw the negative impact of that in the rural economy, which plays a direct and indirect role in shaping the whole economic growth. This year, the expectation is of a good monsoon, which we are going by the predictions done by the experts. And on the back of good monsoons, we expect the rural economy revival to take place, which again I believe will help in the revival of the overall economic growth.
Any sectors you're not so keen on?
Currently, we are underweight on technology. We see the whole shift taking place in terms of the new areas of work being introduced. The traditional businesses are getting slow because most of the companies internationally are focusing on digitization. They are focusing on cloud migration, whereas the traditional businesses are becoming slightly slower. So we see some of these companies to show slower growth, and we are currently having an underweight position there. Besides that, we are cautious on the PSU banking space, although we believe that next 6 months probably things will improve, but we are watching that space. Currently, we are underweight as far as the small and mid cap fund is concerned. So these are broadly two categories, and also the telecom sector, we do not have investments in that segment.
So Vinit, you seem to be in quite a specialty area. Is there enough depth in these stocks? Like, there are enough companies from the universe that you can invest in? And are new companies being added all the time?
Yeah, in fact, my experience in the last 6 years while I'm managing microcap, I've seen the fund growing from being a 350 crore to a 3,000 crore fund. I have found many companies in the space, and ability to invest into those companies was not very restrictive as far as investment is concerned. There are many listed companies across segments, which is a positive aspect of the Indian capital markets. And besides that, we are seeing many more listing in new categories like pathological labs, manpower staffing businesses, which are giving us much more opportunities in terms of looking at investable companies.
So Vinit, are you excited to be in this space? Are you happy that you chose this area?
Yes, I'm very excited. I think the most exciting aspect of this business is that we get to meet many managements, we get to speak to them, we understand how passionate they are about their business. We are able to, it's a learning process every day. We not only see that these companies, why they are growing, how they are growing. It is all driven by these passionate managements, and besides the management meet which we essentially carry out before doing any investment, we also try and visit their plant. We also try and meet some of their channel partners, which enables us to go to small cities and towns. This helps us in getting our own unique research and also building high conviction from the ground.
So Vinit, it seems like a lot of these smaller businesses may be family run, and so what are the pros in those kinds of businesses that you have seen, and what are the cons, And do you still really like these businesses because of the family aspect somewhere?
Yeah, you're right. Most of these companies are very closely run. They're run by the family members, and these are not really professionally run. There are pros, there are cons of this nature. So the benefit being that the management's involvement is extremely high. Their holding in the company is extremely high. So they are in sync with the business. They have the targets to achieve. We see their aspirations, we see their passion, and that also enables us to drive our own conviction on the name. The negative aspect of the same is we really don't know beyond one generation how the companies are planning their succession plans. Do they have a foolproof plan to make sure the company continues to remain in existence even beyond their lifetime? So I think those are some of the negative aspects, but otherwise we find them to be beneficial as far as the smaller companies are concerned.
So you're saying a lot of entrepreneurs are still in these companies?
Sure.
These are entrepreneurial led companies?
Yes.
And so high skin in the game?
Yeah.
So when you're investing in these kind of companies, you're kind of investing alongside the person who started them, which are then high conviction, and helps you to increase your conviction?
Definitely, when we look at these businesses, we want to make sure that the management's aspirations, their passion, their aggression actually is very much up there. They have the ability to drive the business and grow the scale from where they are meaningfully, and we would like to participate in that growth by way of participating in that company, and which, as you said, is also keep giving us a lot of conviction on the business, on the management.
Thank you, Vinit, and thank you, audience. And so this brings us to the very end of this time's Fund Manager interview series. Hope to see you again very soon in the near future.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.